So, today I saw The Addams Family. It's an animated movie from MGM Pictures. And I thought it was pretty good. I had a fair couple of chuckles at some of the stuff. They did save a lot of their good jokes for the trailer, but they actually had a good mix of humor. There was a lot of the kind of basic physical comedy stuff about, oh, aren't these monsters wacky, that kind of thing. But then there was also a lot of kind of subtle wordplay sort of stuff. There was some fairly basic stuff, like, where they say the opposite of what they mean, like, oh, it's terrible to see you, and that kind of thing. So that was fun. You had a pretty good voice cast in there. Oscar Isaacs, he's gotten a lot of acclaim. The thing I remember him being in was Apocalypse, the X-Men movie. But I think he's been in a lot of other stuff, and he's actually been good in that. I think he was in a Star Wars thing called Rogue One. That one was pretty good. They spent a lot less time in the school setting than I thought they would. I guess it was mostly just a vehicle to tell some good jokes. I thought it might be more of a plot point kind of thing. And you have your kind of standard, expected trend of kids' movies are about the kids rebelling against their parents. And, honestly, if you think that you're mixing something up, I mean, I guess it's fair because it's an old franchise. It goes back to like the 60s or the 70s. Well, after they had color television. But it was still in black and white, I think. But the idea of like the kids rebelling and it being with normal stuff, normal in quotes obviously, but with the kids rebelling, like, oh, I'm gonna wear pink, or I'm gonna have a bow in my hair, or whatever, instead of like being weird, quote unquote, and being like and like trying to kill people or whatever. Like that's I guess it's tired, but what do you expect? It's an Addams Family movie. They're gonna make that style of joke, basically. And now I feel compelled to go back and watch some of the original show. They actually made a couple live action Addams movies as well. Addams Family movies. There was one where those were both pretty good movies, I think. I mean, the first one I actually saw and I liked it. It's got that great scene where they're talking about Native Americans, and it's like, well, historically, my people have been oppressed by your people, even though Thanksgiving is about pretending that everything was hunky-dory the whole time. And it's like, well, that's that was a great scene, and that movie was really great. Was where I was going with that. This one was fine. The animation was kind of cartoony, but they didn't make it feel cheap, I guess. I saw what was that other movie I saw? Like the Ugly Doll movie? That looked cheap, except for like the textures, but I mentioned that in my video about it, where like they had these scenes where they had no background, and it was like a whole thing. Music choices were pretty good in this movie. You have a lot of kind of contemporary popular music, some hip-hop stuff that's been around for a super long time, naturally. But, still kind of a nice eclectic mix. There's little musical interludes where he's not Frankenstein, right? But the Frankenstein guy is playing, like, instruments, and it's nice to have little musical interludes. I think it goes back to some kind of tradition they had in the past where they would do that. Well, I don't know. Do you want me to ramble on another 10 minutes? What do we have in trailers? And I could talk about trailers, right? Playmobil movie trailer. I saw that one again. There's a new trailer for the Will Smith thing where he turns into a bird. That one was basically telling me a lot more about the movie, but it's a Blue Sky production, so it'll probably be okay. Probably have to go see that. That stupid firefighter movie the trailer is still there. It's the same trailer that it's been. It looks really cheap. It looks really bad. Probably not gonna go see that one. Maybe I will. I don't know. Let's see what else. Oh, Trolls 2. That looks kind of good. I'll probably go see that anyway. I kind of liked the first Trolls movie, but I'm a sucker for a good musical, and I thought that one was a pretty decent musical. So there we go. Other than that, there's Maleficent 2 is in the theater, actually. I saw posters for it on the way in here. So I'm going to probably go see that eventually. I want to watch the first one and then come back and watch the second one in theaters so I know what to expect. I mean, I've obviously seen Sleeping Beauty, but I think that's a biased take on the story. So there you go. But overall, if you are a fan of the old show, or if you liked the live action movies, go ahead and go see Addams Family from MGM. It wasn't bad. It had some fun moments. It's a solid, maybe like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 movie. I think that's what the ratings said, but I don't really remember. I think they said like 60% or something. It's not bad. Like I said, it's not bad. It's got good moments. The villain is actually almost a carbon copy of one of the old movie villains. Like this whole idea of contrasting the Addams Family with suburban, like super bougie people is just not. It's not new. And it started out as an Illumination joint. It was a stop motion with Tim Burton on. Can you believe that? I mean, I guess I can kind of believe that because it has sort of the influence of it feels kind of like it has the influence of one of their movies where it's like, oh, we have this property, let's just kind of do what's already been done with it, but in our own style. And I think that they ended up changing the style a little bit, but I don't know. It's fine. It's perfectly decent.